Oh, this camera. Ooh, now I'm not here looking like revenge. And yeah, I know you thought you had bigger, better things, but right now this is, 'cause grass under me. Did I share it? Yeah. Okay, yeah. I don't know. I don't know who's here or if anybody is. Hello, Meandra. Hello, my darling. Listen, are y'all finna see me mess up some fruit? Yes. Hello, empathic. Hello, hello. I know the lighting situation is not great, but I think it's my camera. I think it's the camera. How am I doing? I am doing good. Got my hair cut. You know, like I said, really wish I could get this lighting better, but here we are. Hello, Markel. Hello, Nix. Hello, my sweetest loves. And Mark. Mark, I said I was gonna stop messing with you, and I'm sorry. I lied. I mean, no, I am gonna stop. Thank you, my dear. I need them. Okay. So these are new glasses. And you know when you get new glasses, you have to let them settle on your eyes, but baby, everything's too fuzzy for me. I don't like it. I don't like it. Look like a professional and then I go and be shady. I know. I know. I'm just a horrible, not nice person. Hello, Crystal. Y'all, I know it's super late. So if you want to leave, like thank you for coming. Thank you for supporting. Clearly. But if you want to leave, because I know it's late and we're probably not gonna stay on here that long because I don't want to keep people up. Thank you, Marco. Thank you. I do care for him. Like, I don't know. Maybe I need to let my eyes settle, but I tried something new with the frame, and here we are. Anyway, before we get started, how is everyone's day? I am, well, the strawberries are gone, and now I got some apples. Thank you. Thank you. I feel like I look like a little bit of a school teacher, but I'm okay with that. That's fine. I'll deal with that. What would be uncool about a school teacher? Nothing. So let's do it. Girl, not raggedy. What happened? I'll tell you what. Today for me was pretty good. Today was okay. It was a little busy. There was a lot going on, but by the grace of God, we made it. And now I'm back home And you know what? I need to thank you, Tyronton. Hello. Um, it's YouTube live. That's the thing. Um, I need to figure out what it's gonna be, how to make it a thing. How to make it a thing, you know? Like I feel like when we get on the TikTok, I kind of know what to do. I fall into line, but I don't know what to talk about here some days. Um, which is why I don't go live here a lot. But I want to because I low key think it's better. I feel like I haven't had a chance to talk to everybody and just catch up with y'all. I haven't eaten today, which is why I'm tearing this fruit up. Um, I've been having some gallbladder issues, and so I have not slept for the past couple of nights. Okay, haven't slept for the past couple of nights, and I was up in pain. Just my God, and so I'm kind of slowly trying to eat, you know. And so I'm just eating some fruit, living my best little life. Anyway, so y'all know what? I know what we can talk about because I want to do this, right? I want to start making more content on on the Tales of the Slayer. I want to start making way more content about that because they are some really really good stories. Well, there's some good stories and then there's some other ones, you know? Like there's some of them that I'm just like if they ever try to adapt them, let's leave that one out, you know? Um the one that I read this week, I think would make a really good like episode. I think it would be a really really good fleshed out episode if they did it right. Cuz a lot of the problem with it was the pacing. And so the story itself was really good. And if you haven't watched the video I made on it on TikTok, you know, you can head on over there. Um but I think what happened was that they had a really good premise. They set it up okay, you know, well enough. And then it's like I think that the person who wrote it maybe didn't quite know how to they didn't quite know how to incorporate the action into it, which when you have a Slayer story, the action is going to be really important. And I think that that kind of got lost because what ended up happening was I feel like hello Trinell, I feel like we spent a lot of time doing not nothing, but kind of like I feel like we spent more time doing other things and then all of a sudden there's just a burst of action and then it was over. Like that was kind of my problem with the story was it was like moving along at a snail's pace and then we're kind of getting into some stuff and then they're kind of characterizing our girl who was the main slayer, well, not the main slayer but the slayer. But I think that's the other part of the problem is it she almost felt generic. Like some of the other slayers, I feel like part of their story was the fact that they were a little bit inept, right? So not fully inept, but they had a character flaw or they had something going on with them, like our one sweet precious angel baby who couldn't hello Mystic Shadow. Um our one sweet angel baby who couldn't sense vampires and danger around her, right? And so that ultimately ended up costing her really bad. And it also left us on a cliffhanger of not knowing whether the person that had taken her life was actually a vampire or not, right? So it added the mystique to the story and it added a sense of danger. And this baby is just not smart. But then she's also like 15. So it's like, ah, thank you. Thank you for the compliment. Um, it's like I can't be mad at her because she's 15. What would I have done any different, right? And so what do I mean by she's not smart? she's very out loud with everything. Like, so she has this one note, right? There's one part where she's having to write this note. And the guy who wrote it to her is writing in code. And he's like, how are the cherry blossoms on the tree? Whatever, right? He's speaking in code, asking her how things are going. She can't think of anything poetic to respond. So she just responds by saying, you know what? I got some weapons that I can make, and then I'm gonna fight the demons, and I'm gonna punch the demons in their face using my fist, and then me and the demons are gonna fist fight, and then I'm gonna like she just said it, and I was like, girl, mama, you got to use a little bit more intrigue, you know? But I think that that was to boost up the fact that she's from a warrior clan. So she's not necessarily from this background that's going to teach her how to speak in riddle or anything like that. So it's like it makes sense, but it doesn't feel like her being young and inexperienced and whatever else really impacts the plot. You know, it doesn't feel like and does it have to? I don't know. But I think if you're gonna have her do things like that and have her go to sleep in a boat in a storehouse while people are actively canvassing the area, that made sense to you, baby? You decided you needed some rest, and so you decided to lay down while people are actively canvassing the area? My love. But it doesn't feel like there's any consequences for it. And then they just kind of like go back and they're like, she's talking to this dragon and she's like, "Oh, you protected me. Thank you for protecting me," whatever. And I don't know. It just felt a little like, so there's no repercussions for anything, just nothing at all. But it was at the end, she had a fate that she didn't agree with, which felt like a prison to her, which made sense. And at the same time, the ending of the story, hello, Andre. Hello, my friend. Um, at the same time, what am I eating? Travis, why are you in my business? Is my question. And if I say Sharonda, what you gonna do? God, mind your business. Anyway, um, the end of the story almost felt to me like, because I can, what are you eating? Sharonda. I would say that. Don't you count my wife out at all. Anyway, but the end of the story felt like they just needed the story to be over. And so they were like, let's just do it. Let's just get there. And so let's just danger, 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 danger. Story's over. Like, it didn't feel like the person who ultimately ended up being the villain, it didn't feel like there was a build up to that. It felt more like they decided, remember that thing we told you earlier? Now it came back to play. I don't know. I was like, okay. I was like, okay, if that's how we want to end it. But but I have to check myself on that because y'all know that I'm still very y'all know that I am very upset about Once Upon a Time still. Y'all know I'm still very upset about Once Upon a Time. So I have to check myself because I feel like that's impacting my whatchamacallit. Mm-mm. Hold on. I'm sorry. Give me a second. Um, but yeah, hold on. I'm sorry. Girl, not me being unprofessional. Not me being unprofessional and message. Sorry, I'm sorry, my bad. I guess the villain like immediately. Yes, absolutely. As soon as he said it would be whatever if a holy man was the. I was like, what? Y'all couldn't have laid that out any. I'm telling you, ever since Once Upon a Time, I feel like I'm just critical of everything. Hello, Daisy Lou. Oh my God, y'all, Daisy Lou's birthday is in a couple of days. Oh my God. Oh my God, my sweetest love. Are you finally reading my text? Trinell, I told you my phone died. Do you want me to stop in the middle of this to read? I mean, I do want to actually, but that's not the point. Travis, don't do that. Travis, don't do that. You're so excited you're gonna be a whole 30. Oh, my girl is gonna be out of her 20s. Oh my God. Oh, my sweetest love. You're like, I feel like when you turn 30, you're like an adult, like you're an adult in in your 20s, but then when you hit 30, it's like, no, I'm grown. I'm grown adult now. Like, oh, I don't know. Even though sometimes I still feel like a child. Meandra said when she said she never saw his face, what do you mean? I was so confused because no, when she said she never saw his feet, I was like, what? Because that's the other thing. So this is what me and Mia were talking about is I feel like they needed more time to kinda expand a little bit on the villain, the demonic entities in this story, because they were so cultural, right? So if it's a vampire, a regular vampire, or if it's a demon or whatever, we have a precedent for that because we've seen that and we know how those things go. Excuse me. Oh, this one because they had like Tengu. I knew what a Tengu warrior was. Literally was because of Power Rangers. I feel so bad because as soon as I saw Tengu, I was like, from Power Rangers? But then I remember that they take a lot of, inspiration from their culture and that Power Rangers is an American remake. And so once I thought about that, I was like, okay, that makes a little bit more sense. And then like the little turtle creatures that were attacking her, they're the things from Mario, I think. And it was just like, or the things from Mario are based on them. So it was like a lot of stuff that I feel like they didn't take enough time to explain how it worked. Because when they were describing the vampires, I was like, so her face changed, but why doesn't she have feet? Why is she floating? Does she not have a physical form? I'm I am very highly confused why the vampires are like this here. And we never really got an answer, but it wasn't actually a question, if that makes sense. So it was like by the time we got to the end and we brought up the water dragon, I was like, what is happening? Because we got a lot going on. We got the little turtles that are biting and killing, and then we got a water dragon, and we got vampires that don't have feet, and then we like I can't like I couldn't piece together what was it was too much. It was too much all at once, and they didn't take the time to explain anything to us, and they really couldn't because the stories are short. But I said, okay, all right. Mia said, "I think the ghosts were probably were completely different from the vampire." Oh God, I gotta take these glasses off. Oh my God, I think the ghosts were completely different from the vampires, but they sounded so. Yes, they sounded very similar. Like it sounded like it was the same entity, and so that's why when they're like, "Oh, they don't have feet," I was like, "Why don't the vampires have feet?" Because at first I was like, "Okay, it's a ghost," but then when they were said their face changed and they were bloodthirsty. And then old boy was was a vampire because he was talking about he was drinking blood, and I was like, so what are we doing? I don't know. Hello, Deanna. Hello, my love. Hello, my darling. Hello, my darling. Hello, my gal. How are you? How are you? Um, Trinell is trying to bully me into reading his text right now. And I have told him that I can't do that because we're all talking. And, you know, y'all know what bothers one side of my face feels like it is constantly up. or like squinched or something because I think I told y'all like I have some kind of nerve thing going on. Um I did have to take off the glasses so I can see because they're still too new. They're still too new. But I think that I have some nerve things going on because my face just always seems like it is twitched up. I almost wonder if I have Bell's palsy, if I'm being 100% honest, but I don't think I do. I don't know. Girl, I don't know. Anyway, that doesn't matter. That has nothing to do with anything. I'm just kind of self-conscious about it because sometimes I feel like my eye doesn't open all the way. I feel like it doesn't. No, wait. It would be this one. That's interesting. My face is just fat. Never mind. I'm just fat and ugly. But anywho, um, yeah, yeah. I didn't. It's not that I didn't care for that. I didn't care for the story. I just felt like there was something weird about it. Like by the end, I was like, "That's it? It's just over? It's just done?" I don't know. I do think if they ever took the Tales of the Slayer and turned it into like a YouTube or a Netflix series, I would probably make it like a YouTube series. Um, because I'm petty like that and I just want stuff to be on YouTube. But I would make it into like some sort of a little web series first, probably just to test the waters because I think it would do really well. They just have to, they'd have to add a little bit. They'd have to spice it up a bit because some of them stories like White Doe 8, 6, 7, 8. White Doe 8, Marie, whatever her name was, Marie something, Marie Christine, I think it was, from France. That's probably been my favorite story so far. That one has more than I think that one has been my absolute favorite story so far. The first volume had some good ones and then it had some flops, like Molly. Molly was a flop, okay? I don't know what happened to Molly. I mean, clearly Molly died, but she kind of deserved it because she was boring. Um Molly was a flop. Some of the other stories were really really well written though. Um, this second volume, okay. Um, yeah. Oh no, Daisy Lou. Molly was boring. Molly was so boring. She was from Kentucky in like the 1800s. It was like, girl, just go, bye, go sit down somewhere. The story was interesting, but Molly was I don't know. Maybe if I go back and reread it, maybe I have a different. Was it Molly that was the flop? The story was a flop. What if I'm telling y'all the completely wrong thing? You know what? I blame Charnel because he's bullying me tonight. If I had any artistic talent, you could make a cute animated series from those stories. They me a hush. But you know what? We should do that. Ooh, you know what we should do? We should all come together and we should try to figure out how to do something like that. Ooh, I want to write y'all I want to write some stories so bad. This is making me reading these stories makes me want to write some, but I don't know what they're going to come out like. It'll probably my stories will be the one that people will be like, this is a flop. My stories will be the one that people will like, but I need to get into the charm novels. I do need to get into the charmed novels because I want to. Norman effing Rockwell. Is it Rockwell? Norman I'm so uncultured. I'm an uncultured swine. The one that stuck with me was the one where old girl's watcher left her and then looked her in Travis. 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 When that man, let me tell you something. My Britta, that was Britta. Let me tell you something. When that man turned around and looked at Britta, and she just kept screaming, "You promised that you would not leave me? Keep your promise." I wanted that man gone. Do you understand me? I was so glad at the ending of that story, and I wish that we had had a chance. I wish we had had a chance to see her tear him up. Oh my God. You promised that girl that you could have just been, you could have just been like, girl, we don't know what's gonna happen in the heat of battle. But no, you promised that girl you would be there for her. And then they tore her from baby, they tore her up from the rooter to the tutor. And you look back and just let he's not seeing heaven. I know he didn't see heaven. Just like Buffy didn't see heaven. I know, just like Buffy did not see heaven, that man did not see heaven. Buffy's hell. Buffy's hell was to think that she was in heaven. Okay. And I know it. I know it because I was there. I know it because I was there. Can you imagine? Anyway, let me stop. Let me stop. Okay, 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 okay. All right, I'll stop. I'll stop. I will stop. But he's worse than Lily. At least you were hell. Mark, I never said that. I never said that. That you can prove. That's not true. What's not true, Mia? What's not true? At least Leo is gonna stay. That is true. Now I will give Leo that. He will get thrown around. Now Leo will get thrown around with him. He's gonna jump on somebody's back or something. He will get in there and throw hands. Now I can't take that from that man, even if I wanted to. Leo will absolutely get in there and throw hands. So that's the one thing he's got going for him. And I do mean the one. Well, does he throw hands or does he just get tossed? Because I feel like Leo doesn't fight. I feel like he just gets flung. Maybe that's why him and Piper are so perfect for each other. Y'all know what I was thinking about? I never thought I would see the day we find a deadbeat that beats out Lily. Oh yes. Oh no. He was horrible. He beat out Leo real bad. Uh-oh. Okay, there we go. Okay, chat's back. I'm sorry, y'all. My internet is apparently not super stable today. And I blame Troynell. I blame Troynell. I do. I do blame Troynell. Not you calling him Lily Wyatt. I mean, he what? Oh, he punched and elbowed Sykes. Okay. I thought that said something else, but I can't say what I thought that said. And so I'm just gonna have to tell you separately what I thought that said because I thought that said something completely different. And I was like, Trinell, why would you say something like that? Okay. Okay. All right. So my God. My God. Holly said that Connie was involved with the books. Really dope if that's the case. Oh, I can't wait to read them now. Did I tell y'all I got Trick or Treat in the mail? I said hunch. Oh no, that's not what I thought you said. I thought you said something else. I I thought you said something else. So I can't say it here because Mia and Nix are here. So I can't say that. I can't say it. But season 6 and season 7, Lily was a scrapper. Now that is true. He would throw hands. He would throw hands. I did I tell y'all I got Trick or Treat in the mail? So as of whatever day that was, the Trick or Treat came in. I now have all of the Charmed novels. I remember there was somebody who was like, "That's not all of them because there's like 40 or something of them." Yummy. Well, go ahead. So read my message and tell me what you thought. No, no, I'm not reading that here because I need to be focused. I need to be focused for that. I need to be focused. I can't just, you know what I mean? I like to focus when I text my friends back. Well, you showed them. I did. Let me see if I can I feel like I probably should not show y'all the whole background. You can't see it. And now I'm not here feeling like revenge. Okay, let me see. I thought I could zoom in, but I can't. I can't. But I had to rearrange the books so that they could I had to rearrange the books so that they could like they weren't just piled up the way they were. So I have like a first little row, then a second little row, and then the DVDs or the Blu-rays rather, and then one of the comics, and then my little Phoebe thingy. Um, so, you know, just saying. I have all. It don't look like that many when you actually look at them like that. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, I kind of see what they mean now because I feel like there are. Oh wait, there's some hidden. I forgot that there's some behind the Charmed comic because whatever. But yeah, so oh y'all don't need to see everything because you know I got a lot going on. I need to rearrange my manga shelf. I'm so happy. I'm so happy reading manga. That's been this has been such a great journey. I'm glad I'm going on it. I am. I'm glad I'm going on it. I'm I'm glad that I'm. Let's not get a violate. Listen, that man Tronell said. Listen, I don't pay Tronell no attention. You know I'm not paying Tronell no attention because he ain't talking about that. Anyway, let me stop. Um, I do want to read it though, but but I am very excited to be in this reading journey. Y'all, let me tell you this. I know this is off topic, but we kind of don't have a topic at the same time. And so I can kind of do whatever I want. You don't have to listen. Like you can do whatever you want and just leave. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if I was like, I can do whatever I want and then everybody just left at one time? Baby, I'd just scream. I'd scream. Um anyway, we'll come back to what I was going to say about what I was going to tell you because I've said it 15,000 times. Which one is my favorite so far? I would say probably smoking behind the supermarket with you. Smoking behind the supermarket with you, or okay, let me y'all listen. Wait, no, let me show y'all one with both of them, with both of my sweet angel babies on there. Listen, let me tell you something. The way that this story, okay, it has 9 volumes to it. In one night, I read 4 of them, and by one night, I mean in like a couple, like maybe 2 hours. I love this story so much. And I kept trying to figure out like why. Because it's about teenagers, and I was like, I don't know, I feel kind of weird reading like a story with teenagers in it. Um, but what I think it makes me feel as a person, and the reason, see, like I have the whole thing, and I have another volume on the shelf, and I have one more that I have to go get. But anyway, y'all didn't ask me that. Um, the reason I think that I'm so enamored with that story is because it makes me think like, oh, I wish I had been in love in high school. I wish I had had a young love, and I think it kind of like gives me that little moment, not in a weird, creepy way where I'm like, oh, these characters, not like that, but like envisioning myself and just being able to, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It just it lets me have insight, I think, to what I feel like I missed. And so this is kind of like my guilty pleasure, right? So this is the one that I read and I'm like, "Oh, that's so sweet. Look at my little darlings." And then I get to Mobsters in Love, okay? Mobsters in Love is the one where I'm like, y'all finna fuck. Because listen, that man is in love with his boss. They, oh, it just, it's, I'm like, put it in, just put it in. It just, oh God, I love that one. I love that one. That one is my like, this one and A Sign of Affection are like my, oh my God, my heart is skipping a beat favorites, right? But then Mobsters in Love is like my mm, favorite. You know what I mean? Like oh, I blame Troy now. I blame Tornell because I just know that what I read earlier in the chat, right? Where I thought that he said something else, it corrupted me. When I thought that he said, anyway, oof, child, I thought the man said something disturbing. I was like, in front of my salad? Mm, okay. In front of me, oh my God. You know what, Mark? You're right. Okay. I see. Okay, now I am in front of Mia and Nick's cutting up, cutting a. See, this is what. This is why. This is what happens. This is what happens. I'm in front of Mia and Nick's cutting up like this. My sweetest loves. My sweetest loves. My sweetest loves. Okay, I am so sorry that Tornell has triggered this debauchery and this foolishness. I'm very sorry about that. I need to get on my Naruto reading though. I need to get on my Naruto because is he a little bit behind on that? Mm, yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. He should have already read about 3 volumes of it by now, but he hasn't because he's been focused on other things. And he thought he was dying the past couple of days because the gallbladder attacks have just like, been tearing his little head up. And so, like last night, y'all, not last night, night before last, I'm not being funny with you when I say that I thought I was dying. I threw up like, I think I threw up like 3 times. I didn't go to sleep until like, I think 5 o'clock that morning. It was a mess. I was hurting so bad. I was hurting so bad that the cat came and laid on me. Like she came and tried to like, you know, was like, it's okay. You're going to be okay. I was like, baby, I feel like I'm about to die. I couldn't lay on one side. I tried to lay on the other side. I threw up. It was just a mess. It was a mess. But, we're a trooper. We make it through. We make it through. I've been dealing with that for a good little minute. I've been dealing with that. This was the past couple of days was the worst it's gotten though. Like what it's been the past couple of weeks has been like stomach pain, stuff like that, some bloating here and there. But the past couple of nights, get me up out. I was like, baby, whatever happens from here happens. Take me out because I'm good. I'm good. Holding down the spot and I'm good. Why do I just break out singing? I feel like I'm that. Ooh. Ooh. um ooh. I feel like I'm that, that just will bust out singing and you be like, what? Okay. Trinell, you really have been affecting me in a negative way because you got me up here finna say words that I shouldn't be saying in front of Mia. It mm, that's crazy. And Nick's. Jesus in heaven, my God. Is he a theater kid? I wish I could have been a theater kid. I feel like I would have been too scared. I feel like I would have been too scared, but at the same time, I feel like if we had had theater in my school, because we didn't have that option. It was football or nothing. Um, Football, basketball, track, or band. That was it. That was it. That was it. If you weren't in that, then you were just a loser, a big fat loser, like me. Okay, hiding pickles under your tongue. Um, but if we had theater, I feel like I probably would have been in it. And I feel like I probably wouldn't have said anything at first. And then later on, I would have been like hooting and hollering at the front. So I don't know. I don't know who I blame. Hiding what, where? Huh? Huh? What you mean? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what y'all are talking about. Pickle? Who said anything about pickles? I feel like y'all are making this up because I don't think I don't I don't remember saying anything about that, but I could be wrong. I could absolutely be wrong, but I don't recall saying anything about pickles. I wasn't a hardcore theater kid, but I was in a drama class, drama club, and in a musical. Oh my god, that sounds so fun. I would have been so scared. I would have literally just pissed in a raccoon's ear and then shook it around and threw it at toddlers. Like, I would have been so nervous. I would have been so nervous because my god, getting in front of people. See, Trinell, please. My god. Have y'all ever wanted to, like, push an old person down? I'm just asking a question, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but I'm just curious if anybody's ever wanted to push an old person down, like, just to do it, just to see what would happen, just to see, like, how they would respond. Like, would they make that little noise that old people make sometimes where they're like, "Ah!" Y'all see my eye twitching? You see it? See? Old people do make that noise. Some of them make that noise. They be like, "Ah." And you just be like, "Are you okay?" But they're just old. I guess they're just thinking about, like, I guess they're just thinking about decades past and they just start yelping like a turtle. Do turtles yelp? Wait. Wait. What noise does a turtle make? Wait a minute. Okay, now I need to know. Okay. What noise does a turtle make? Wait. A turtle sound. Wait. Well, now I want to eat a turtle. I didn't want to eat a turtle at first. I didn't necessarily. Oh, a turtle can roar? No, I don't care about that. That sounds fake. But yeah, no, now I want to eat a turtle just to see. But I want it fresh. Like I want to hear its last little sound. Okay, that sounded a little demented. Even I can admit that that one sounded a little demented. That one sounded a little crazy. But y'all had never wanted to hear like the last sound that an animal makes, like or something that you're finna eat. Like if you got a chicken, you just want to like watch the life leave its eyes and it makes one last little cluck, you know? And you get to be the one to hear that last little cluck. And then you can bake it. You bake that chicken and you know that you're the last one that heard its cluck. Why do y'all listen to me? Because now I want to know what is it that makes you continue to listen to the things that I say because I don't have good sense. Okay. You know what? I'm going to start being a model upstanding person, okay? And I am going to start being the single best person that y'all have ever. I'm going to be the model content creator. Okay. I am going to start, and I'm not going to say anything stupid anymore. I'm not going to say anything crazy or weird. I am going to stick to straight facts. Okay. There's no more Delulu hours. There's no more wanting to eat turtles or push old people or like eat a porcupine. Do y'all remember when I wanted to eat a porcupine and I never got one? But anyway, no more eating porcupines. Okay. Okay. No more, no more having the desire to just see what happens if you like cuss out a ladybug. Is it gonna get upset? Is it gonna get mad? Is it gonna like start making a noise? Anyway, no more of that. No more. From now on, we only talk about normal things, and we are only going to no more kangaroo. Oh, oh. um, I don't think that the kangaroo is counted in this because people actually eat kangaroo, and so I don't think that we can count the kangaroo out and we can stop. I don't feel like that one is weird. Um if I told y'all that I want to put two centipedes next to each other and have them race to see which one of them is going to live, then yeah, that would be weird. But I am not going to, or that I really do want to eat a roly poly to see how it tastes. But I am not gonna. I think that I don't think there's anything wrong with the kangaroo, me personally, and so I am glad that we all just came to that same conclusion that kangaroo is okay to discuss. Um, I am temporarily HR is here. I am HR, and we in HR have decided that kangaroo can still be discussed. And so HR is now disbanded, but um, HR did put down a decree that you can we can talk about eating kangaroo. So and don't get to talking about unions because we don't have unions. We don't have unions. Um, we don't have HR. We we don't have any of that. So you know, yeah. But no, yeah, from now on, this is a family friendly, normal program. Okay. No more weird stuff. Okay. No, no more weird stuff. Okay. No more happenings. From now on, top notch. And part of that, we do indeed have a union. No, you don't. We absolutely have a union. No, you don't. Crystal said nope. I don't. I no, ma'am. How can the head of HR make a decision if we don't have HR? Because because Mark, don't Mark, don't rock the boat. Okay, Mark, don't rock the boat. And that's all I'm gonna say. Don't rock the boat. Did you hear that? HR said no more weird stuff. Anyway, Tornell, as I was saying, no more strange happenings from now on. And whenever we come to a live, we're always gonna have a topic. Okay, no more of this fly by the seat of your pants, figuring it out as you go. What are we gonna talk about today? Stuff. Okay. If we don't have a topic, then we don't go live. How about that? I'm sorry, I'm coughing. Um, I I have a cough that's trying to come up. Sorry. No more braless, strapless, fearless attire. You need to be prepared emotionally, physically, sartorially. I'm sorry, what? She doesn't like our clones. Well, then in that case, I have nothing else to wear. Anyway, okay, sorry. I love that episode. I love that scene. This is just so extra. Anyway, okay. No, no. I'm serious. From now on, if we don't have a topic, we don't go live. How about that? If we don't have a topic, we don't go live. Mm-hmm. Now check that. Now let me. I'm sorry, I was coughing. Sorry. Now, now let me hear you nay. Anyway, um, like I said, if we don't have a topic, we don't go live from now on. Georgia rule. Well, who's the horse, baby? Because it's not me. Now let me hear you nay. My baby turned around and said, "You know what?" My baby turned around and said, "You know what?" I love Chloe. No, okay. Down to some serious business, okay? Because, like I said, from now on, if we don't have a topic, we don't go live. And so, of course, I have a topic right now. I don't do that. Why would you assume I don't? You know what? Every time I see clickety click, you know what I keep thinking about is Glory telling her servant. She was like, "Tick tock, Krell, was it Krell or Drill? I think it was Krell. Tick tock, Krell, tick freaking tock." I love Glory, and I think that if you've never seen Buffy before, you're gonna love Buffy. The way you're in shambles trying to lie with the lie. Lie. I would never. I would never lie. I would never lie. I would never lie. Mm-mm. I would never lie. Well, come on, Teletubby, teleport us to Mars. Change your costume, change it around. Okay, sorry. Okay. I know I said that the shenanigans were not going to happen anymore, and they're not, and they didn't, and you didn't see anything happen. My plan is to talk about All Stars, talk about Drag Race All Stars on the other podcast. I plan to start talking about that in October. So I want to get the episodes recorded and edited and then just hit release. That's my plan because I loved talking about Flavor Flav, Flavor of Love, but I got sick of it about halfway through. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I got sick of it about halfway through. And I feel like Drag Race has been on my mind real heavy. And so my plan, October is when they did All Stars 1. So my plan is to just do an All Stars discussion. It's only like 6 episodes. So I can do that. You know what I mean? Like I can do that. That's not gonna be a problem. Flavor Flav. It got on my nerves very quickly, and I didn't think it was going to, but I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong, but it also got on my nerves really quick, and I very quickly wanted to stop watching it. But Tornell bullied me into finishing it, and I'm glad he did. I am very glad that Tornell finished. That he bullied me into finishing it. Um, but he could not bully me into going into season two. I'm not doing that. I don't want to see season two. I don't want to see season three. So, or if I do watch it, it would be just to watch it. It wouldn't be to like discuss it. So, I got the shoes and I lost my way in the kitchen in the body. Yo. I love the Flavor Flav video. The Flavor Love. Girl, listen, Flavor Love started getting on my nerves real quick. That's why I never got my reunion episode. That is exactly why, because I got sick of it very quickly. What if we had a drinking game where you drink every time they said Flavor Flav? Girl, we would be toasted, okay? Which is fine for me and Sharonda because we're near each other. So I got my man, my woman. I got my woman, next to me, and we can, we can get it together. Oh, baby, listen. I can handle my liquor, and you can ask me and him. You can ask me and Crystal, baby. I can handle liquor. Okay. How is Sharonda? She's doing great. She's doing great. She is. She is. Oh God, I'm just moved. I'm so moved by you asking um about her. I'm just so moved. Um, she's doing good. She is just working, just working like normal, working, taking care of the kids, working, working, taking care of the kids, cooking, taking care of the house, things like that. Just being an ups. I'm sorry. I'm so I'm so moved. I'm just so moved. I'm sorry. Hmm. Bless her heart, that woman loves work. Those 24-hour shifts. Those 24-hour shifts are really brutal. Giving Reba McIntyre money. Working day. Sean working. Oh, what a shock. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm so moved. I'm so touched. I can't, like, my heart is just so my heart is just so overjoyed. My heart is just I'm sorry. Um, not Tom Cruise. No, I just am so I'm just so happy. My wife and I um my wife and I are just we're in wedded bliss. Um we're both working gals. We both work, gal. We both work, gal. We both work, and she takes care of the kids and makes sure that everyone eats. And I just am so Oh God, I'm sorry. I had to get myself together. I had to get myself together. I'm just sleepy. I think that's what it is. Just sleepy because it was my turn to watch the kids, watch watch Rhonda work, watch Rhonda works, and so um, just tired, just worn, just tired. I had to leave the kids by themselves so I could go get my hair cut. And I just left them alone for a few hours. So I mean, they're fine. The oldest one, he's like 4, so he knows how to warm up like some pizza in the oven. He he knows not to answer the door for people, things like that. So, hmm so they were fine. It's not like anything happened. And so now they're in there. They're in the other room. They're in the other room, and they are ugh, you just would not believe. Y'all should double date with me and my fiance Lisa. We're engaged for 2039. Oh yay! Congratulations. We sleep in separate beds and houses and counties though. Oh, I mean that's okay. That's fine. That's how me and Sharonda were when we were dating, and so that makes perfect sense. So it's like we would love to go out with y'all. We would love to. We sure would. Sharonda can take off work that day. Um, Sharonda can take off work that day, and we can, pick us somewhere to go. Grandma doesn't watch the kids. She could have, but I didn't ask her. Why bother her? I mean, the kids are 4, 3, 2, and then we have 4 1-year olds. So it's like they can take care of themselves. They can take care of themselves for a couple of hours. They're good. They're fine. They're okay. Can me and Andrew DeLuca go on a double date with you guys too? No, we don't like we don't dilly dally with certain groups, and so we also don't hold hands. We live for Christ. No, I understand that. Me and Sharonda, we go to church every single Sunday, every Wednesday, sometimes on Thursday and Friday. So like I totally understand that. Not the gays discriminating against the gays. You don't like yourself? Don't discriminate against yourself. I vote for Papa G to be the new name over Power of G. Listen, that's what Sharonda calls me. I love it when she call me Big Papa. I don't know why my Biggie Smalls kind of sounds like Hank Hill a little bit. I love it when she calls me Big Papa. I want the propane. I'm not sure how those two things coexist, but they do. Hmm. Interesting. Very interesting. Exactly, Andre. Tell him we just don't support that lifestyle. Like I have nothing against y'all. I have some friends who are, you know, but I just don't want that around me personally. Um, I don't like that. I don't like that. It's Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. Oons, 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 oons. So it's like how they said if you can do Elvis, you can do Tony Braxton. Booty so big, Lord have mercy. Ah, na, 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 na. Stop it. I told y'all to stop being random. I told y'all we were going to stop being random. If you don't have anything else to discuss, then we're getting off. Mm, Elvis and Tony. I don't know how to do Elvis though. That's the thing. I feel like I mean we've heard me do Tony, right? So we know I know how to hey mom, hey you love me again. But Elvis is like, oh, oh, welcome you to the rock and roll show. I don't know. I don't know how to do it. There's something I can't figure out how to do an Elvis impression. But I feel like I know how. But I also feel like it's too oh. See, I keep wanting to do Hank Hill. I feel like I want to do a video of me trying to do a Biggie Smalls impression and tell and show people how it goes into Hank Hill. But then I feel like people are gonna laugh at me and call me fat. And they're gonna talk about how one of my eyes goes to the left. Because I do have one of my eyes that looks like it's always trying to escape to freedom. And I don't know why. But I do. One of my eyes is like it's like a family thing. Like we have a lazy eye. And for some reason, one of my eyes always looks like it's ready to leave at any given moment. Okay, wait. Fanny, okay. Fanny pack. Okay, wait. Here's the thing about fanny pack. Here's the thing about fanny pack. Um, here's the thing about fanny pack. Hello, Brittany. Hello, Leia. Here's the thing about fanny pack. I feel like I do a good impression of someone making fun of Fantasia, but not her actual voice. So it was one night when we were on live, and I was like really cutting up, right? I put your picture in the mirror. Start to blush when somebody says your name. In my something there's a pain. I don't know. Something my direction. I go the other way. I start to stutter when I speak. Something else and my knees go weak. What's happening to me? And then I don't remember the words. The rest of the I don't remember the rest of the words. I don't remember the rest of the words. I remember I used to be so obsessed with the fact that Fantasia could not read. I don't know why, but I remember I used to be so obsessed with the fact that Fantasia could not read. I was like hyper fixated on it. I don't know whether it was me being a jerk. I don't know whether I have like I don't know whether it was like but I was so obsessed with it. And I remember when they did the Fantasia movie and she was talking and she was on American Idol. And I look at the words on the paper and it just goes round and round in my head. But I don't know what any of them mean. Hop and pop and red and fish and blue and all of that. I don't know what any of that means. And so I just pray that my baby learns how to read some way, somehow. I don't know whether I need to just put on a video or get muzzy or hooked on phonics. But my baby needs to learn how to read, but I don't know what those words are. And so every single time I think about Fantasia, and she say all of that? No. But I just remember her saying like she didn't know how to read. And it was like, and she was talking about how she felt like, people were always telling her that she wasn't gonna win because and I don't know. I made up a whole little scene in my head where people were telling her that she wasn't gonna win because she couldn't read. And I was like, well, you learned the lyrics to the song, so clearly because how did she perform on American Idol if she had to learn the words to the songs? They had to have just picked songs that she knew the words to, right? And I'm not making fun of illiteracy. I'm not joking. Like I'm not being funny about like I mean if you or someone you know is illiterate, then call the number below. But it's like I just never could quite I'm assuming that somebody would like read her the words or something. Oh, okay. Good night, Trinell. Go you have great sleep. I'm sure you're gonna go to bed. Um see you on Twitter. But She could have listened to other versions and that's what I was thinking. Okay, that's what I was thinking. Okay, so I knew it was something like that. Like it had to have been something like that because I really was curious. Like I'm not, I know I probably shouldn't have interlocked this with me being foolish, but I genuinely he is not going to bed. But I genuinely used to be so curious how she learned the words. Like how do you do that? It's like Crystal Bauer socks. Remember she had diabetes real bad and like I think it was one week she couldn't perform or something like that or she was late. I don't remember. I don't remember what happened, but I remember it was like one week her diabetes got real bad. And I was like, "Oh god." And I remember that I remember it being so scary because I was like, "Oh god." I don't, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying. I just know that when people have something like that going on because I was like, "Is the diabetes going to affect her ability to sing? Like how does that impact, like is she going to get, you know? I don't know. I probably should stop telling y'all about the foolishness that comes to my mind. But I mean, these things genuinely. Does she have dyslexia? Who? Fantasia or Crystal Bauer socks? Oh, excuse me, because I don't think that Fantasia had dyslexia. She just couldn't read. Mary J. Blige couldn't read either, and it's sad because that's how people, screwed her over in her career. Fantasia, I don't think she's dyslexic. I don't think so. But that's how people screwed Mary J. Blige over because she couldn't read the contract. And I was like, that's frightening. Like, I'm like, all jokes aside, all whatever, anyone else, that is frightening to be in an industry where someone could very easily just put something in a contract. And it's hard enough going over a contract if you can, like, read well. I couldn't imagine not being able to read and then trusting other people to go, oh, girl, keep it, keep it, keep it. I couldn't do it. My nerves ain't good enough for that. Mm-mm. So let me tell you about a player I know. 6'4", 225. He's all the way alive. See where I come from. He like him like that. He don't talk Shrek. He just. Baby, Hood Boy used to be my song. I need a hood boy, wife beaters and jeans, always in the trap, and he looks so mean. I said, not in the trap, child. Not in the trap. Not Fantasia's, not Fanny Pack said she want a man in the trap, child. Fanny Pack, what you know about a man in the trap? It's like every time I listen to Soldier by Destiny's Child, I'm just like, girl, I need a soldier. Girl, shut girl, be quiet. Yeah, Mary could not read. Mary could not read. Mm-mm. Just as lost. Didn't know what was going on. Didn't know what was happening. That's frightening. Like that's absolutely terrifying. I could not imagine. And I would have very quickly told them y'all can have him. I put my head in a pillow. Got me pissing out a window. Look at the stars for a shine. What's the reason why I am? Did I see that Fantasia Lifetime movie? Yes, that was the one where I remember her saying like all the stuff was going around in her head when people were telling her she couldn't win, and then she did. And I always remember her saying that people were telling her she couldn't read, but I think that's when people were telling her she couldn't win. And I was like, oh, well, they can go to hell. What? What did I do? What did I do? Tell me, what did I do? We gotta watch Holiday Heart one day. We have got to watch Holiday Heart. We gotta watch Holiday Heart, and then we gotta watch the TLC movie. And I don't care who don't want to watch it because we're gonna watch it. Okay, we're going to watch it. So you might as well get ready. So I creep, yeah. Baby, Kiki Palmer was cutting up. Kiki said, baby, I'm gonna give y'all everything. I'm gonna move this jaw. And move that jaw she did. Move that jaw she did. She said, so I creep. Yeah. I said, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, y'all, it's 10:13. Okay. And Sharonda's about to get home. Sharonda's about to get home from her shift. And we have some reconnecting to do, if you know what I mean. We have some connections to make. If you know what I'm saying. So so I'm gonna let y'all go. Okay. Thank y'all for joining me here. We need to do this more often. We need to pick a day. We need to pick a day of the week to go live. We need to pick a day and we need to stick to it. And by we, I mean me, but still, that's not the point. The point is, we need to pick a day. Okay. And if no one offers me up a day, then I am going to pee in a squirrel's brain. Okay. And throw it at a tree. And then watch as it staggers away with a pissy mind. And then that'll be your fault because you didn't do what I asked you to do. Because I don't want to do it so late, you know? So on Wednesday, every other Wednesday, I get my hair cut. And so I don't want to commit to Wednesday because I know I can't do every single one. So that's the reason. I'm going to do anime night on Thursday. Friday is too close to Saturday. I can't do Friday. Friday is way too close to Saturday. And so I'm kind of thinking maybe, but then Tuesday sometimes we do movie night. So we can't have it be Tuesday. We'll talk about it in the group chat. We'll talk about it in the group chat. So, bye everybody. Bye everybody. I hope you have a great night. Love you. Love you real bad. Bye.